Begin now. Dandat Pranam Prabhuji's Mataji's. Anantri Prabhu, I see your message. Prabhu, one time you can ask Manohar Gopal Prabhu about that session. I hope it's recorded, but I'm not sure. I changed my name. You all can hear me? Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji, we can hear you.
And see me also?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu. Om Agyantimirandasya Gyananjanashalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Bhakti Paschatya Deshatane Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukham Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Bande Shri Gurundina Tarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwar. So we discussed three, we are discussing the third verse. This was describe mm, uh, six things that are very favorable. And we discussed the first one was enthusiasm. And if we lack enthusiasm, then Prabhupada says um, we fake enthusiasm. And we discuss enthusiasm is endeavoring with intelligence, using our intelligence in how to serve Shri Krishna, how to serve our spiritual masters, um, what is favorable for me, what is not favorable for me, and following that strictly. This is all sign of enthusiasm. Um, and we saw like how Srila Prabhupada says enthusiasm gives life to bhakti. And if we lack enthusiasm, then um, in the beginning it's easy to be enthusiastic, but over time enthusiasm may go down. But in devotee association, in reading, in sincerely chanting in the morning, it's an effort because we are going against the flow. The flow is this world is being governed by the three modes of material nature: Saptagun, Rajagun, Tamogun, and all these three modes are always capturing us. And to be able to not act on them is very very difficult task because we are consumed by these three modes. But then with our intelligence, if we can identify and if we can see and if we can feel that I'm lacking, or these three modes are taking over and this is what it is, um, our reading, our listening, especially Srimad Bhagavatam, helps to clarify that layer of illusion. These three modes is a layer of illusion, and because we are covered by these three modes we cannot see beyond that because it's like a thick covering. And Bhagavatam is like clears the fog and gives us a vision. And then again, because these three modes are so like we are so covered by them now. The moment we don't hear, we are not chanting, and immediately we'll start acting or thinking or judging, whatever. The layer of three modes will come. And that's why this it's very important to read and hear to so that these coverings can remove and we can see, and then again it's a struggle. The three modes are trying to take us down, and our prayers to Krishna, our listening to Bhagavatam, our chanting is trying to break through that wall and then see forward and focus. Um, and then Prabhupada, that's what Prabhupada says, this enthusiasm and trying, it's like gives life. We saw the example of Srila Prabhupada at the age of 70, fully enthusiastic to go to America. Although Prabhupada was connected to Krishna consciousness in 1922, I mean, Prabhupada is Nityasiddha devotee, but if we don't see that aspect, but if we see Prabhupada as like following his example, from that perspective, you see Prabhupada got initiated in 1922 this 40 years later and proper enthusiasm. Actually, our enthusiasm will grow with taste naturally. And the more and more we grow in our Krishna consciousness, the more and more we'll become enthusiastic. But what happens, our initial stage of anatha is very thick. And that always, like Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur says, there is Nishchita Bhakti and Anishtita Bhakti. Anishtita Bhakti means unsteady. And that's where the struggle comes actually. Once the cloud, this is anarthas, no? Which always bog us down. Um, because of anishtita or unsteady bhakti, there are mistakes also that happens impelled by some unwanted things within the heart. Um, but that Bhagavatam, prayers, chanting, Vaishnava songs, hearing Sangha, that always helps us to remove the fog, gives us the clarity and makes us walk. Even if we don't have strength alone we cannot push in our Krishna. We cannot push our Krishna consciousness alone. We cannot go forward. It just doesn't work. It will be more like dragging for sure. Enthusiasm will go away alone. We see this song is there, na? एकाकिया नहीं पाया बाला हरिनाम संकीर्तने एकाकियामा nahi paya bala harinam sankirtan. Here the author, this song is Gurudev. Kripa bindu diya koroe dase trinapekha atina. So there the author is saying ekakiyama nahi paya bala. Alone I don't have the strength. Harinam sankirtan. To go on with my harinam, to go on with my seva. But we see when there is somebody who is enthusiastic and who is serving, it's very easy to build up our enthusiasm in that association. But ekaki alone, we cannot go forward. So this is enthusiasm. Then we discuss confidence. Then confidence we discuss confidence in this path of bhakti. And we discuss six P's, how bhakti gives perfection. Um, we all the good qualities like basically have confidence that um, the goal is Krishna, um, and that goal can be attained only by the path of bhakti. Lord Krishna says Uddhav, not by austerities, not by um, knowledge, gyan, not by karma, not by any of these things can I be attained, not by the study of Vedas. I can be attained only by the process of devotion. Only by bhakti can I be attained. So confidence that uh, um, I may be struggling, but if I keep on with my seva, with my harinam, with my sangha, with my reading, um, then I will cross over this cycle of birth and death by taking shelter of the process of devotional service. That confidence must be there. Then Prabhupada also says confidence. He says one more thing: Krishna will surely help me with my devotional service. Krishna will surely make my service successful. That confidence should also be there. Mm. Then the confidence that the holy name is the only way. Hare Nam, Hare Nam eva kevalam kalo nashtiva gatiramyata. Then we discussed the last thing we discussed last week was the patience. It's not gonna happen tomorrow. Um, gradual. Probably give an example. Woman may want a child, but she has to wait for 9 months. Even she's so eager. I want the child. She sees everybody's child and she's like, I wish I have a child. I wish I have a child. She really wants the child, but she has to go through the process of 9 months, and many times it is very painful. Many doctor visits and many complications and so many things happens. So likewise, there may be many difficulties, many challenges, many roadblocks. But then if we persevere, in whichever way, with enthusiasm, with confidence, and we will attain perfection. This bhakti is defined. This bhakti is scientific. Scientific in a way we can measure our progress. This bhakti will, like it goes, na? It goes from. This is very interesting. I can speak some more on this, but I don't want to deviate from the topic. But I was recently reading the characteristics of a sadhaka in the stage of anartha nivriti, in the stage of nishtha, in the stage of ruchi, in the stage of ashakti. So always very refreshing. I was thinking after reading, I was so like I like them. I like that description of Anartha Nivriti and Nishtha so much. I thought I should do a seminar just from all the subject matter of Bhakti at the stage of Nishtha. Uh, mm. So patience and so be patience. If I want to go deep, like one devotee was mentioning just now before the class, that we were discussing Naam realization, Naam Rup Guna Leela. Actually, Maharaj was mentioning Naam listening is stage of um, Naam realization is we are able to perfectly hear the name that will take us to Nishtha. In Nishtha, the form of the Lord will remain stable and the form will become deeper and deeper as we progress in our Nishtha. We close our eyes, we start chanting, and the form of Krishna will stay the whole time. For how long? And that absorption in the form will become deeper and deeper, and we cannot go beyond that in the stage of Nishtha. In the stage of Ruchi, the qualities of Krishna will start manifesting in our heart while we do the while we take the Harinam. The qualities of Krishna. Um, um, and our heart will become overwhelmed by um, how wonderful Krishna is, how great Krishna is. Whatever, there are all these qualities. How sweet is his flute, how beautiful Krishna is. These are qualities of Krishna. How sweetly Krishna talks. This is quality of Krishna. How submissive Krishna is. This is quality of Krishna. How caring Krishna is. How he takes care of his devotees. Um, how um, 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 infinite Krishna is. Like he is everywhere at the same time and he is conscious of everything, how great, how wonderful Krishna is. Or it can be um, how Krishna um, is sanctioning everybody's desires, unlimited living entities and everybody's desires, how Krishna is. So um, the- these are some of the qualities, but those will become more and more prominent. And at the stage of Ashakti, Maharaj was mentioning, the pastimes of Krishna will manifest. And Maharaj was mentioning at the stage of Nishtha, if we try to remember the pastimes of Krishna, it will be more intellectual. In the stage of Ashakti, it will be spontaneous. Attachment to Krishna, the desire, I want to attain Krishna, will come only at the stage of Ashakti. That I want to attain Krishna. Before that, also, the desire may be there, but that desire is at an intellectual level. It's not with the feeling, with the longing that I want to attain Krishna. The longing that I want to attain Krishna will come only at the stage of Ashakti. So, such enlivening discussions Maharaj was making on these different stages. So wonderful. But then, if today we are at one stage and we want to be on another stage tomorrow, it's not how it works. It's gonna take decades. And we go to next stage and then next. But it is very scientific. Srila Prabhupada says we can measure. We can measure Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur. That's why Prabhupada says scientific process. Everything is like jotted down. Everything is mentioned in the books and we are just observing, okay, what was before, what is happening now, and we can be very clear on where we stand and where I want to go. Then where will I go? Then where will I go? And just seeing the glimpse of future itself will bring enthusiasm. That itself will bring enthusiasm where I want to be. But then at the same time, we have to enthusiastically and with confidence um, keep serving today, keep serving tomorrow. And these are the gifts that are brought about by the mercy of Sri Chaitanya, by the mercy of our spiritual masters. So patience is required. During the patience, don't lose hope, and that's why these shravanam, hearing, uh, helps to increase our faith. Yes, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. So this is utsaha, nichaya, dhairya. And then along with that, three more things one must do in order to make steady progress in one's devotion. And one is tat tat karma pravartana. Tat tat karma pravartana means doing things whichever are favorable for Krishna, do those things and avoid things that are unfavorable to Krishna. Do bhakti, avoid things which are unfavorable to bhakti. And basically follow the rules and regulations of bhakti. And what are the rules and regulations of bhakti? That Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has told Sri Rupa Goswami how bhakti can be, how what is bhakti. If somebody asks what is bhakti, chanting is bhakti, hearing is bhakti, serving Vaishnavas is bhakti, reading Bhagavatam is bhakti, cooking for the Lord is bhakti, worshipping the deities is bhakti, circumambulating Tulasi and watering Tulasi is bhakti, accepting spiritual master, hearing from spiritual master, serving spiritual master is bhakti, spreading the message is bhakti. So in this way, there are 64 ways or 64 angas of bhakti. So Tattat Karma Pravartanat is um, as much as possible follow these 64 angas. One of them can be remembering, smarana, that is bhakti. One of them is offering articles which are liked by the Lord, like offering tulasi to Krishna. That is bhakti. So in this way, there are various things mentioned which will enhance our bhakti. Everything we do, um, circumambulating the Lord, if facility is there for Tulsi, that is bhakti. So in that way, whatever is described, if we can follow and avoid the opposites, that is called Tattat Karma Pravartana. Um, so we will read here. One must strictly follow the regulative principles of Vaidhi Bhakti. In addition to these four prohibitions, Yama and Niyama, Yama are what to do for us. Yama are what not to do for us. It is intoxication of any form. Um, Sometimes I feel like intoxication is, I mean, of course, there are gross elements to it and there's subtle elements to it. Um, okay, so there is intoxication, there is illicit sex, there is gambling, and there is meat eating. So, in addition to these four prohibitions, there are positive regulative principles such as daily chanting of 16 rounds on Japa Mala beats. These regulative activities must be faithfully performed with enthusiasm. This is called Tattat Karma Pravartana or varied engagement in devotional service. And when we come to our Nectar of Devotion seminar, we will study all these 64 in great detail. We will study from various Shastras what the scripture says about those 64, and we will have discussion on them, and we will, once we know, of course beginning is an understanding. Once we understand, and then we will able to practice also. Then this is tat tat karma, and then there is one verse. This is Sri Krishna tells Uddhava. He says Shraddhamrita kathayam me. Shraddhamrita means Shraddha with faith. This nectar of hearing about me, with faith, hear the nectar of my glories. Now, Maharaj was mentioning Um, Only at a particular stage does Krishna's glories become like nectar to us. Not all the time, but because Uddhava is a pure devotee of Krishna, and um, devotees of the Lord, like those who are very have like few decades in bhakti and have matured to the advanced stages, for them katha is like amrita. Krishna also says, no, devotees come together, bodhayasta parasparam, kathayanta shamam nityam, tushyanti cha ramanti cha. They become greatly satisfied, and um, when the devotees come together and discuss about me, ramanti cha, I mean, they really enjoy discussing about me. And to be able to hear, and when we hear, to be able to relish, that is wonderful. So shraddhamrita kathayam me shashwan mad anukirtanam. Mad anukirtanam means along with that, you hear about me, the nectar of my glories, and then you glorify me, you speak the nectar of my glories. Pranishtita cha pujayam, and then you worship me. Stuti bhi, you offer prayers to me. Stavanam, and you worship my devotees. So in that way, Uddhava, Lord Krishna is telling Uddhava what all you should do to come to me. Uddhava said, how can I come to you? And he says, Krishna says, hear about me, glorify me, worship my devotees, offer prayers to me. So in this way, there are many verses. Lord Krishna is describing what you should do, Uddhava, in Uddhav Gita and Bhagavatam. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu um, elaborated them in 64 angas, 64 ways. And Srila Rupa Goswami has, uh, like Srila Rupa Goswami would read all the scriptures, and whatever Mahaprabhu told him how to practice bhakti, Rupa Goswami established that on the basis of Shastra, quoting from various Shastra what Mahaprabhu has said. Basically, Mahaprabhu told Rupa Goswami that whatever bhakti is that I have defined, write books and substantiate bhakti based on Shastras. And that's what Rupa Goswami did. So why I'm sharing this is these 64 angas um, are not like maybe they help, maybe they are not help. The basis of all of them is Shastra. And this is one example of Bhagavatam where Krishna himself is telling that's how bhakti should be done. So one of the thing favorable is what we hear from Krishna, from Lord Chaitanya, from Rupa Goswami, how bhakti should be done. Try to do all those things for bhakti to increase. Firm faith in blissful narrations, Amrita of my pastimes, constantly chanting of my glories, Anukirtanam, unwavering attachment to ceremonial worship to me, Puja, Pujaya, praising me, Stuti, through beautiful hymns, great respect for my devotional service, offering obeisances with entire body, and performing first class worship of my devotees. Stavanam Mama, my devotees, worship them. So, in this way, Krishna describes what all you should do. Based on these instructions of the Lord, Sri Rupa Goswami has divided these activities into 64 items of bhakti in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and that is called Tat Tat Karma Pravartana. The Utsaha, enthusiasm, be confident of what you are doing, um, be patient. Success is guaranteed for all of us, may not be today, maybe tomorrow, maybe day after tomorrow, but be confident and be patient with enthusiasm, keep pushing on, and then follow everything the scripture says about bhakti, whatever 64 angas, follow them. And then the fifth item is sangatyaga. Um, don't associate with people who will drag us down, and associate with those who are devotees. This is very, very nice. We will read on this. Furthermore, in order to be successful in devotional service, one must give up the association of undesirable people. This includes karmis, jnanis, yogis, and other non-devotees. So, who are undesirable people? Who are karmis? Who are karmis? Who are very attached. for greater success in this world, who are running behind some fruits in this world, like a big post or position, or bigger house or bigger car, or taking inspiration from those who are running behind those things, getting those things. And we think, oh, they have this house and they have this car and they have this post and they have this job and they have this salary. Many people compete, or they have this salary, I need something better. They have job in this company, I also need job in this company, or maybe a better company. So this is like we are taking association of karmis. Who are karmis? Karmis are those who are attached to results in this world, which Krishna says won't bring happiness. Um, that itself become eventually the happiness in this world becomes the cause of suffering tomorrow. Um, so this is asat. Asat sangha doesn't mean we don't talk to them, we don't see them. Sangha Tyagat means we're not inspired by what they are doing or what they have. We are in we because this is three modes now. So if we are inspired by somebody's fruits, those who are getting something in this world, then we are acting in mode of passion. So like I was mentioning before, these three gunas are very thick, and we won't be able to break them or see beyond them because we are conditioned by three gunas ourselves. So whenever we have any association, these gunas interact, and their mode of passion is their fruits, whatever big they want, or they are acquiring, or they are aspiring, or whatever. And when we associate with them, then that passion may trigger passion in us, and we also want this. So this is called, we have taken their association now. So Sangha Tyagat, and this, like I was mentioning before, Bhagavatam is, it will give us a glimpse into what's the real goal, where we want to go, or what we want to achieve in this human form of life. Is what my desire is aligned with what Bhagavatam says is the goal? Is my desires aligned with that? So this is um, um, so what they, then this includes karmis, gyanis. Usually devotees don't associate with gyanis, but gyanis are like they read Vedas. They seem to be spiritualists, um, but their path is, and they want Brahman. So don't associate with such people because Krishna is not. They have no understanding of lotus feet of Krishna, the sweetness of Krishna, the qualities of Krishna, the pastimes of Krishna, the names of Krishna. They have no faith in any of those things, but they are only looking for some kind of liberation from this material existence. So that is also, and they want to avoid suffering. Um, um, it's not a positive seva to the Lord, but it's not this, but becoming, yeah. So that's Gyanis. Mostly we are not so much into it. Those who are very hard for them to become bhakti yogis. I have seen those who are Gyanis, or um, um, for them, yeah, they really struggle to understand Krishna as a person because they have contaminated themselves with um, such vichar, such thoughts. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also says, Sari Raka Bhashya Sunile Haila Sarvanash. Once you hear Sari Raka Bhashya of Shankaracharya, everything will be destroyed. Mahaprabhu also showed through the example of Mukunda. Mahaprabhu says, I don't want to see Mukunda because when he is around us, he performs kirtan, and when he glorifies the Lord, and some other time he goes and associates with Mayavadis. And then sometime he becomes like he is with them, and sometime become like he is with us. He is an eternal associate of the Lord. But that was a pastime Mahaprabhu wanted to teach. Don't associate with Gyani. So that is an asatsang. One is karmi, one is yogi. Yogi is like people who have some siddhis, um, and if we desire them, some siddhis. Like some people can heal somewhere outside another planet. It's a siddhi. Yesterday I was hearing 11th canto Bhagavatam. And Uddhava asks, what are the various kinds of siddhis, Krishna? And how can one attain those siddhis, Krishna? And one siddhi Krishna mentions is that they have Kamavashita. Krishna says one siddhi is they can control others' senses completely, others' minds and senses they can control. So one of the yogic siddhis is whatever they desire, others will surrender their mind and senses to what one wants. It's a siddhi fully control the other person. I'm like, wow. But Srila Prabhupada also says, pure devotees, Prabhupada says, they have developed all these siddhis, but desiring them. And like for one YouTube famous um, Vedic scholar, Gaurang Prabhu says he has the mystic siddhi of making people cry. So that's why everybody run towards him. And he is very famous. That's also a siddhi, to make people cry, make people emotional, people feel good. Um, so um, uh, any kind of desire is an karmis have some desire, gyanis have some desire, yogis have some desires, and other non-devotees have some other desires. So anybody who all these um, are described as a satsang. So sangha tyaga, don't associate with them. Once Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was asked by one of his householder devotee about the general principles of Vaishnavism, as well as the general routine activities of a Vaishnava. Vaishnav करते क्या है? What do they do the whole day? General routine activities of a Vaishnava. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately replied, Asat Sangha Tyaga Yahi Vaishnavachar. Characteristically, a Vaishnava is one who gives up the association of worldly people or non-devotees. So Mahaprabhu says, what do they do? They avoid asatsang, they avoid non-devotees. They avoid karmis, gyanis, and yogis. Those those who are too attached to to karmi, gyanis, and yogis, um, they avoid. But then we see, for the sake of preaching, we have to deal with all kinds of people. Those who are too attached to maybe wealth, maybe women, maybe fame. We are dealing with, especially um, um, in America, Americans mainly sense pleasure. They are very attached to sense pleasure, and we have to deal with them all the time. I mean, if we are dealing with Westerners, we have to deal with them all the time. Um, but then we should not take their association. We should not be inspired by their activities. Like Prabhupada would say, don't be inspired by them. Rather, tell them. Yugal Kishore Prabhuji also says, preaching is the best defense. In order for us not to be inspired by what they are doing, we must preach to them what they are doing is wrong. So that way, we won't feel, oh, I also want something, what they have. Whether we should preach what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita about what is going to happen with this. So in that way, either preach to ourselves in the mind or preach to them. Um, Prabhuji also said, preaching is the best defense. So if you want to defend your own consciousness, preach and tell them how bhakti is the highest. Everything else is what Krishna speaks about. Ehi samspata chaboga dukkha yonana evote. So in this way, when we preach, we are listening ourselves. So although we have to deal either in the mind, we preach to ourselves or to others. So in this way, when we are conscious and when we are careful, caution and conscious of Krishna, conscious of Bhagavad Gita, conscious of what we have heard, and caution. Caution means I am dealing with danger right now. I must be there must be caution in my interactions. Conscious and caution, then we may not be affected by Krishna's mercy, Guru and Krishna's mercy. Shri Narottam Das Thakur, this is Sangatyaga. Sangatyaga, don't associate with them. This I love this picture. Beautiful picture of this is live with devotees and serve with devotees. There's nothing like that. Shri Narottam Das Thakur has therefore recommended Tandera Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanevas. One one has to live in a company of pure devotees. Um, one has to live in a company of pure devotees. Um, one definition now, if somebody thinks, how do I live in a pure devotees? Prabhupada gave a definition of pure devotees. One of the definition Prabhupada gives um, um, of pure devotee as one who is sincerely trying to follow the instructions of the scriptures of spiritual master, or sincerely trying to practice bhakti. Prabhupada says they are also pure devotees. One of the purport Chaitanya Charitamrita Prabhupada mentions. One may not be a Shuddha Naam. One may not be chanting Shuddha Naam. Still, one may be a pure devotee if his intention is pure. And Prabhupada gives an example of uh, um, unripe mango and ripe mango. Over time, the unripe mango become ripe mango. Likewise, the sincere devotee over time will become a pure devotee. Sincere devotee today will become pure devotee tomorrow. So that sincere devotee association is desirable, because we cannot go and live with our spiritual master practically speaking, but one has to live in a company of pure devotees from that perspective and execute the regulative principles. And for us, company of pure devotees is like regular association, regularly associating with them. So one has to live in a company of pure devotees and execute the regulative principles laid down by the previous acharyas, that is tatat karma pravartanat, execute the regulative principles. The six Goswamis. If one lives in the association of devotees, there is little chance of associating with non-devotees. This is very true actually. When we are surrounded by devotees, when we live in devotee association, there is very little chance to associate with non-devotees actually. Like one devotee was mentioning, I liked it. I think the devotee may be on the call also. This devotee was mentioning, Prabhuji, with team we had to go out, and there were three, four devotees were together. Some are relatively new, and some were practicing for some time, and there is a whole team meeting, and they were thinking, what do we get? Then they looked at the menu, they did not find anything, and then uh, they were thinking we should drink some water at least. Then they were thinking, we don't know what all is served in this glass. Maybe some wine is served. We all have drunk from this, so we can't even drink water. So they just somehow got up and left. So this is like excellent. This is what is wanted. So here it says, if one live in association of devotees, there is little chance of associating with non-devotees. Like when we are living with devotees now, these devotees have this shakti around them, that we ourselves are very guilty when we do anything wrong just by living with devotees. Sometime in our Krishna community center, we have some Western people come and live there. They're very protected, but once they go out, in a way, they are bound by the environment, programs, morning programs, seva, cooking, um, um, mm, going out for either Sankirtan or something. So when they are living in a temple, anybody living in a temple, living with devotees, there is very less scope of associating with non-devotees. One thing I have seen is like this is how devotee association is like a fence which will stop us from anything wrong. Alone we can do anything, but living in devotee association, it's very hard. Um, even if they are like if one is living in a temple and they are found in some place or talking to somebody, other devotees will look and like, Prabhuji, what were you doing? So in this way, there is very less scope. So here Prabhupada is telling, if one live in association of devotees, there is little chance of associating with non-devotees. We are naturally protected. And that's why Narottam Das Thakur says, Tandera Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanevas. My desire is to live in devotee association. And then Prabhupada says, that's why we are opening many centers, just to invite people to live in a company of devotees. Why there are so many centers, Prabhupada says, we want people to come and live with devotees and practice the regulated principles of spiritual life. Of course, our model is little bit different than regular temples, because we deal with some Americans, and we know that they are not going to live the life that Indians can live. It's very hard for them. So we tell them, you live in a temple for a month, you live in a temple for 6 weeks, a maximum visit 2 months. Most of people after 2 months they get a strong footing in Krishna consciousness. Every day we discuss Bhagavatam, every day Bhagavad Gita. We teach them how to wear dhoti kurta, we chant with them. So in a way we give them experience, then you go and then you live the life and take the experience with you and then stay connected and keep coming back. So it is very Prabhupada says we are opening many centers just to invite people to live in the company of devotees and practice the regulated principles of spiritual life. When these devotees, these Western devotees, when they are here, they don't associate with non-devotees. They are very protected, very much loved. Prasadam is there. Um, um, and then when they go out, they become free. And then again, then they again may. What I have seen, I am telling you my personal experience. When somebody lives in the temple, they start chanting 8 rounds, 16 rounds. They get very good. They feel very good about it. Get into a habit. When they go out, um, they find it very hard to chant outside, but because they carry those impressions of living with devotees and living in a temple environment and serving with devotees, because that impression is there in their mind, they feel guilty that I'm not able to do. See, I've fallen down now. That was so nice. And then slowly, then they keep connecting with the programs, weekly programs that we offer. And then slowly, then they again start with 1 round, 2 round, and gradually. So it is very safe. The temple environment, living in a temple environment is very safe, or living surrounded by devotees is very safe. Um, just like we have cops, we have police. So if police is not there, then everybody will do anything and everything. Some will rob, some will speed to 120, 130, 150. Some will misbehave and do many wrong things, rob the whatever they want to do, kill, thief, or there are other kind of people also doing wrong things. If no cops, then no restriction, then it's like and the humans may degrade, but having these cops is like keeps the law and order in place. Likewise, living in devotees, when we are not living with devotees, then the mind may take over. Mind may take over. And mind is not pure. Mind has many desires. But when we are living with devotees or around devotee association, then we don't give much scope to the mind. And then mind remains within vigilance and being watched. So that is very favorable, but it's very liberating, but it feels like there is some inconvenience, but that is desirable. Regarding the open culture, one time Radheshyam Prabhu was mentioning, in Brahmachari class he was mentioning. Prabhuji was mentioning that when we were in our school, then there was no free mixing of men and women. Radheshyam Prabhu was mentioning there was boys' school and there was girls' school. And when there was convent like boys and girls, then there were very strict boundaries between boys and girls. So because everybody was bound by that environment, anybody who would free mix everybody else will have an eye on them. So they were forced by this environment. Um, but now things have degraded so much. Um, Now, if a boy and girl are not together, it seems like something is wrong with them. So previously, the culture would protect, but now things have changed. So likewise, this environment, this culture of staying with devotees will protect us, and if we remain protected for some time, gradually we will develop a taste for this lifestyle. Kalakanta Prabhu was mentioning if somebody stays for 3 to 6 months, then they start feeling getting into the rhythm of morning programs, Samsara Dava, Tulsi Arti, chanting, Seva, then the body start getting accustomed, tuned, and that's why very highly encouraged to always stay in devotee association. Then we will be protected. Otherwise, Mind is like the mind is the mind. So it has been seen that many fortunate souls have given up attachment by association of pure Vaishnavas. Um, this is the power of devotee association. Before we came to Krishna consciousness, how much strong attachment we had. And just see, we were able to give that up. Why? Because we had association of these these sadhus and seeing them, seeing their purity, mm, and seeing their lifestyle. That itself gives us strength to say no to our attachments. From the scriptures, it is well known that by the association of Sri Narad Muni, the hunter Mrigari and Ratnakar, Valmiki attained auspiciousness. What was their lifestyle and what was the effect of Narad Muni's um, association? They could give those all up and took up to pure devotional service. Even Valmiki and Mrigari, they were like hunters. The foremost instruction of Sri Ramanujacharya is this. This is Bhaktivinoda Thakur quoting in his Bhakti Loka. He says, this is the foremost instruction. Ramanujacharya is one of the great acharyas in Sri Sampradaya, and he gave many instructions. He had a huge, huge following, Ramanujacharya. And his foremost instruction, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, if you cannot purify yourself by any endeavor whatsoever, then just go sit with the Vaishnavas and you will achieve all auspiciousness. So Ramanujacharya would say that if you are endeavoring um, to go closer to Sri Rangam and to Ranganath, and if you're not feeling anything, no attraction for Ranganath, then just go and sit with devotees, talk to devotees, serve devotees, and everything else will come. So this is the foremost instruction of Ramanujacharya. By observing the pure characteristics of a devotee, in very short time a person's mind is changed. Just by observing a devotee, our mind may change. Our mind, whatever we are cooking in the head, just by observing a devotee, our mind may change. His attachment for sense enjoyment decreases. Devotee may have many desires. And we may have many desires. Just by observing a devotee, our attachment for our sense enjoyment may reduce. And the seedling of bhakti sprouts in the heart. Just by seeing a devotee, um, the bhakti culture may manifest within our heart. This is so Bhaktivinoda Thakur goes on and on and on, glorifying the devotees. And one even gradually develops a taste for Vaishnava's food and behavior. And devotees behave in a certain way, and we may behave in a different way, and devotees behave in a certain way. And by associating with devotees, we start behaving like them. We start talking like them. We start in responding to circumstances, situations like them. We start liking the food that they like. We may give up our food and start liking. Again, power of devotee association. We have seen how by associating with Vaishnavas, people have given up many anarthas. Taste for association with opposite sex. It is very common, especially in this day and age, in this Kali Yuga, in this time. Everyone has taste for association with opposite sex. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur is telling we have seen how they have given up that anartha by simply by associating with Vaishnavas. They have given up that desire. That is the power of devotee association. The thirst for wealth, everyone has, but they have given up that desire also. Desire for sense enjoyment and liberation, inclination for karma and jnana, eating meat and fish, drinking wine, smoking tobacco, and desire to chew pan. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur says we have seen that. Bhaktivinoda Thakur was in Bengal. In Bengal, people have all these kinds of habits. In Bengal, especially, fish is very common. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur is telling we have seen how by devotee association, by observing the behavior of devotee and living with a devotee, a person has given up all these things. By observing a Vaishnava's quality of not uselessly wasting time, many people have easily given up anarthas such as laziness, oversleeping, useless talk, urge to speech, etc. Just by observing devotee, how he is like today we were discussing Taco Tuesday when Mataji was mentioning one of the quality of devotee is mauna. Mauna means they speak when required. otherwise they don't speak. And the devotees, they don't waste time. The devotees are busy, engaged. They are always thinking of how to best utilize this time, what to do. They're always thinking what next, 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 next. And one thing I have seen, the reason devotees are always engaged in Krishna's service is because devotees have desire to serve Krishna. When we have desire to serve Krishna, Krishna is the one who arranges us, who engages us in his service. If we are eager, if we have fear, we want to serve Krishna, we don't want to serve Maya. We want to serve Krishna, we don't want to serve Maya. And if we have eagerness of serving Krishna, just in our consciousness, in our thought, then it ev- see there are how many? There are thousands, hundreds of thousands of devotees. Anyone who has desire to serve Krishna, somehow or other, they will be engaged. They will be engaged because all that is required is a desire. And those who, and if we desire to serve Maya, then we will be engaged to serve Maya. And if we desire to serve Krishna, then even if there is nothing to do, you will see some engagement will come up. Today, tomorrow, afternoon, evening, whenever you have fear, oh, I don't have anything to do. How do I do? What do I do tomorrow? And the whole day will be busy serving Krishna. So this is Uh, so we see that a devotee doesn't waste time because the devotee has a desire to serve Krishna. He's always serving Krishna. And when we see the devotees not uselessly wasting time, we see devotees how they don't oversleep. Then just by observing, like I remember, um, see, I'm telling you power of devotee association. Um, I would sleep maybe till 7 a.m., 8 a.m. And then I would when I would see devotees, like specifically, I'll tell you one in few instances in Farmington Temple when I was staying, and I would see the devotees are getting up at 3 a.m. and it's 3:15 a.m. and the devotees is up and chanting, and I'm on a bed, then my mind will say, "Get up! What are you doing? Don't you see others are chanting? You are sleeping." No, I have to get up. So this is the power of devotee association. But if we see everybody in the room, it's 6 a.m. Everybody is sleeping. Then we feel like it's okay to sleep till 7. Anyways, everybody is sleeping. But if somebody is getting up at 1:32, 2:33, then when we get up at 3:30, we feel guilty. Oh, I wasted so much time sleeping. This is the power, like this is the power how devotee, and a devotee, he gets up in the morning, doesn't oversleep, always engage in Krishna's service, very strict with one's behavior. Just by observing them, new person will feel like, what am I doing? Just by that, just by observing the behavior of a devotee, one's life can be transformed. सो भक्तिवेदांत ठाकुर से भाई कुछ नहीं कर सकते हो ना, भक्त के साथ बैठ जाओ, भक्त के साथ एक दिन बिता लो, 2 दिन बिता लो, just be. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur says urge to speak, use less talk. um, you know, if somebody is talking about politics and the devotee says, Prabhu, I'm not interested in these things, then one will feel like, oh, I cannot speak these are, just by observing the devotee one will learn everything. Uh, One has given up anartha such as laziness, oversleeping, useless talk, urge to speech, etc. Just by seeing a devotee, how the devotee every day is going out for preaching, one will think, oh, I must do that. Whatever we have, nothing is ours. Whatever we are able to do is because we have received that by devotee association. And this is parampara, and they have received from the association they have received. They have received from association they have received. Prabhupada disciples have received by how Prabhupada would act. Prabhupada would have received from how Saswai Thakur would conduct himself. Saswai Thakur has received it from how Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Gaur Kishodas Babaji Maharaj would conduct themselves. And they have received it from how Jagannath Babaji Maharaj would conduct himself. And in this way, the whole parampara, our Goswamis, they have received from how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu could conduct himself. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come to teach by his own example how a devotee should be. And that one Supreme Lord, that Mahaprabhu, everything is following now. We are all getting the mercy of the example, and it's Mahaprabhu started, and there is a whole movement now. The whole movement, and not just one movement, so many movements, and they're all following the example of the Lord in the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We have also seen Bhaktivinoda Thakur is like he goes on and on and on and on, and he doesn't stop. This is Bhaktivinoda Thakur's um, his feeling for the power of devotee association. We have also seen that by associating with Vaishnavas for some time, one's cheating propensity and desire for fame have been destroyed. So one may have desire, whatever desire one may have, and we see some other devotee. Oh, the other devotee have desiring for all these things, and this other devotee is only desiring to have a good japa and a good reading and surrender to Guru and pleasing Krishna. This devotee has no other desire. Then we feel like, oh, this devotee is great. So just by that devotee, the devotee association will teach us everything. The cheating propensity, someone's cheating propensity. We have seen there were some robbers who actually joined Prabhupada's mission, and they gave up their cheating propensity just by observing the devotees. One I was hearing one Prabhuji's birthday was there, so his wife was glorifying Prabhuji, and she was mentioning that this Prabhu, he went to the store. He went to the store. He bought something, and he brought it back. It was like some money. I don't know what he bought. Don't remember. And then he saw that by mistake they gave two pieces. So the next day he went. He took the same thing. He billed it. He paid it to them, and while leaving, he kept the thing in the store and he came back empty-handed because he was thinking, if I go and return, they may not take it, saying no, it's okay. We have already given. We have already billed. You take it. So he was afraid that they may not return. So he paid. He kept the thing there in the corner and nobody noticed it, and then he left because he wanted to pay for two if two things came. So she was glorifying him like, "Oh, that's amazing actually." So that's like no cheating propensity. So when somebody sees how this devotee is like this, then when it comes to us, we'll be like, no, we cannot do that. That's the power of devotee association. We can give up our cheating propensity and desire for fame just by that. Even the hearts of persons who think I will defeat the world by my arguments and attain supremacy have been pacified. Without the association of Vaishnavas, there is no alternative for rectifying such attachment. We have many, many deep rooted attachments. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says this devotee association, those deep rooted attachments of arguing, um, we may have this desire for arguing and winning over the argument. And then we see somebody like our spiritual master, somebody argue and they say, okay, Prabhu, thank you. Just by seeing that, you will think like, I don't want to argue. I will also, Prabhu, thank you. I'll also go in this mood only when our spiritual master is doing that or other devotees are doing that. So one may give up that tendency also, or to attain supremacy. One was like one time, Yoga Kishapuri was mentioning, Gaurang Prabhu went. Gaurang Prabhu arranged a Astha channel, or I don't know, some TV channel for Radhanath Maharaj. Maharaj, I have arranged this TV channel for you, and you will come on TV every week. And Maharaj became very uncomfortable. So Maharaj told Gaurang Prabhu, that Prabhu, I think I'm good. You do it. So Gaurang Prabhu did it. So it's like Maharaj's desire that he doesn't want to come in the center. Of course, now Krishna has brought him so much in the center, but it's like the desire from the desire point of view. So there are many deep-rooted desires. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, without Vaishnava association, there is no alternative for rectifying such deep-rooted attachments. So this is um, Don't associate with non-devotees. Don't be inspired by karmis, jnanis, yogis, siddhis, and all those people, and associate with devotees. And devotees will give us. And we discussed about how this devotee association creates a kavach, a protection layer around us. And then एक होता है ना, um, then we have to act within the maryada of devotee sangha. उस मर्यादा में ही हमें काम करना है. So that creates some blocks in the mind that there are so many things I cannot do. And because of that, like we see, the Rishla Prabhupada, there are so many devotees, so many people. See, they were like hippies. They had many habits, but Prabhupada was sannyasi. And when they associated with Prabhupada, they all took sannyas. They gave up all their previous habits and acted just like Prabhupada. This power of devotee association. And the whole world was transformed because Prabhupada's pure behavior, pure desires, pure life, and everybody was influenced by that. And the last is Satovritti. And in this Krishna consciousness movement, we require everyone to rise early in the morning by 4 a.m. One time Prabhupada says, if you want to become serious devotees, you should rise before 4 a.m. There is one brahmachari, Mahotsav Prabhu. He was mentioning that anybody who doesn't rise before 4 a.m., we consider them as non-serious devotees. And like, Prabhu, that's a heavy statement. So that's what, and then he was mentioning in our community, there is a rule. You have to get up by 3:50 or 3:59. Cannot get up after 4. You have to get up before 4. Uh, they said 4 means serious. So Prabhupada says, in our Krishna consciousness movement, we require everyone to rise early in the morning by 4 a.m. and attend the Mangala Arati and morning worship. Then read Srimad Bhagavatam, perform kirtan, and so forth. Thus, we hold continuous activities in devotional service 24 hours daily. This is called Satovritti. Satovritti means following in the footsteps of the previous acharyas who expertly filled every moment of time with Krishna conscious activities. See, this is the gift of Srila Prabhupada to all of us. Satovritti. The Goswamis, they were expert at engaging 24 hours in Krishna service. But we are not, we cannot serve Krishna 24 hours. We are not coming from that environment like the Goswamis. So Prabhupada created a continuous engagement for devotees. Get up at 4, do Mangalarti, chant your rounds, do Guru Puja, perform Kirtan, read Srimad Bhagavatam, and then cooking, dressing, so many services. Then Prabhupada would ask devotees go out and distribute books. Prabhupada says evening there is Bhagavad Gita class. Prabhupada says read Krishna book in the night before you sleep, and every day read at least 2 hours. So in this way, Prabhupada created an environment of engaging everybody in the movement for 24 hours. And Prabhupada says if your motive of sleep is to get up in the morning, go for Mangala Arati, distribute books, then your sleeping is also bhakti, Prabhupada would say. So, what Goswamis would fill their day with bhakti all the time. Prabhupada created a system so that anybody who joined ISKCON can be engaged, just like the Goswamis were engaged 24 hours. Prabhupada's system, everybody within ISKCON can be engaged for the whole day, and that's how they were so enthusiastic. They were always brimming with energy, fired up devotees. Why? Because this is Prabhupada. They are coming from a hippie background, and not that their hearts were pure. But then Prabhupada bound them in a system through which they are knowingly, unknowingly following Satovritti, following the footsteps of the Goswamis. How they would engage continuously. Prabhupada created a system. Everybody was engaging continuously, and everybody was enlightened. This is Satovritti. Conclusion: devotional service is so pure and perfect that once begun, one is forcibly dragged to ultimate success. Anybody who has begun their Krishna consciousness, success for them is guaranteed today or tomorrow. Sometime a person will give up his ordinary material engagements and out of sentiment take shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, and thus begin the preliminary execution of devotional service. Even if such an immature devotee falls down, there is no loss on his part. On the other hand, what is the gain of one who executes the prescribed duties according to his varna and ashrama but does not take to devotional service? So this is very wonderful. So Prabhupada is saying people sometimes I feel may become sentimental, and they are like, we see, especially in Western outreach, we see sometimes people come 1 2 days and they feel this is very good, and they feel like we want to come and live in a temple, and then they come and live in a temple. Um, um, they live for 1 2 months, 3 months, do some seva, get trained, and then they leave. And some stay connected, and some just go away and may not be seen ever. But here, Prabhupada is telling, this is actually Narada and Narad Muni and Vyasadeva conversation. What is the loss? That 3 months were engaged so much in devotional service, so much chanting, so much seva, so much Mangalarati, um, and so much hearing, so much reading. So devotional service once began, it will continue. Um, if not today, tomorrow that remembrance will come back and they will continue from there, or they will continue next life. So, what is the loss? Even if one takes up, and because one may not be very matured in the beginning, and one may leave, what is the loss? And then Prabhupada says, what is the gain if one perfectly follows one's varna and ashrama, and one's duties perfectly, but does not worship Krishna? Everything is temporary and lost. All material gains, everything is lost. But somebody worship Krishna out of sentiment, even for few days, that's an eternal benefit to the soul. So in this way, one should be confident and with enthusiasm. And now we are very fortunate. Either we are initiated, or we are aspiring for initiation. And we, at most of us, I believe, everyone in this call is chanting 16 rounds or so. Um, this is our, I mean, once we understand what we have received, um, having attained this opportunity of being introduced to this most purest of the pure movement started by the Lord Himself, validated by Shastra, understanding the goal of life to be not live and finish the life, but the goal of life to awaken our dormant affection, um, awaken our relationship with Krishna, um, increase our absorption in Krishna, and goal is Krishna. And having initiated in that path, one should follow this path with enthusiasm, with confidence, um, following the 64 angas of bhakti, and not associating with non-devotees. Um, 24 hours engaging in devotional service like the Goswami Satovriti, um, and at the same time being patient. So that's all we have. Are there any discussion? Anybody would like to ask anything? Otherwise, I have a question if none of you have any question. Okay. So my question is, I want devotees to answer. I'm thinking the speed which we are going. We have finished 3 verses. Um, it's gonna take us 4 years with this speed to finish Bhakti Shastri. I don't want to rush, yet I want to speed up. And I'm thinking if we can finish our Bhakti Shastri next year by August, September. For varied reasons, we want devotees to get Brahman initiated, and if we go very slow, and those who are first initiated and they were Brahman initiation, it's gonna take then more time. And that's why today morning I was thinking, how does devotee feel? First is we will certainly speed up our discussion. And how do devotees feel if we meet twice a week? How do you feel about it? I was thinking one option is Tuesdays and Thursdays. same as 8:30 p.m. Or you feel I hear from two devotees here. Anantari Prabhu, I saw the sign. I see the message from Dimple Mataji.
Tuesday, Thursday works great, Prabhuji.
So that I mean, if we, what I was thinking is, if we meet twice, Tuesday, Thursday, and if we do two verses, we are done with three. We are remaining eight. Then in 4 weeks, we are done with this book, and then we can have a quick overview, maybe a review session, and then review session we will cover everything from the perspective of exam and others. uh,
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, Thursdays I have services, so I won't be able to join on Thursday.
Yes,
I,
same here, Prabhu. We have service on Thursday.
how do you feel about Saturday 9 a.m. or 10 a.m.?
Bhagavatam class, Prabhu, temple Bhagavatam class. If Eagle Kisha Prabhu is there, usually most devotees go there to the temple.
What about 10 a.m.?
For me, it will be hard, Prabhu, because usually 10:30 to 11, 10 to 11 or 10:30 to 11:30 is Haripasha Prabhu's classes there on Saturday mornings.
Oh,
For me, but if it others, I don't want to.
one devotee is asking, Champakawali Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Monday I'm in Farmington Hills. Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is fine, Prabhu. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. For me, at least, Or if you want to have a voting, then that will help. Whatever works.
Tuesday, Wednesday can work, Prabhuji, if everyone is good.
How does devotee feel about Wednesday?
Wednesday is good for me.
Yes, Prabhu, Wednesday is good.
Wednesday works fine for us too, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Seems like everyone, Shivanjali Mataji, Wednesday is good. I think most of the devotees can't do Thursday. Okay. Let's, for others, is Wednesday okay with other devotees? Any concerns on Wednesday? Wednesday works for me as well. Jyotishko Prabhu. Okay, let's see. It will be back to back 2 continuous days, but okay. Uh, all right, dear Prabhuji's Mataji, thank you for much. Thank you so much for joining. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhe evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah ananta koti vaishnavinda ki jai. I see Jyoti Gaur Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. Okay. Thank you very much, Prabhuji's Mataji.
Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.